Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining tonight, June 15th, a little after 6 p.m. for the CEC calendar and business meeting. And we will go ahead. A very brief view of the agenda.
Okay, so do you want me to call it to order now, or do you want to do the house cleaning stuff first? In terms of interpretation and so on and so forth.
That's the next part, yes.
Okay.
I just moved Latoya in. She was in the attendees room.
I'm sorry, Vanessa, say that again?
Latoya was in the attendees room, and I believe Crystal was here as well. I'm going to move her in if I see her.
Thank you.
I don't see her.
I'll be one of the guest moderators for this evening. I am Erendira Cerrillo, the administrative assistant to CEC 8. And our liaison, Richard Guevara, unfortunately, he will not be joining us tonight. However, that is an important name for everybody to know in terms of the Office of Family and Community Empowerment. Some ground rules I'd like to lay out before the meeting begins. We want to remind you to please mute whenever you're not speaking. And this is a public meeting and it is being recorded. Please be aware that if you choose to attend this meeting, your image and or voice or the image or voice of your child will appear in the stream footage or in the recording that will be posted to the social media platforms the council chooses to utilize. Lastly, there will be a public comment session in our agenda to the end, and we will share logistics during that portion. Some interpretation services this evening. We have in Spanish, Bengali, and Arabic tonight on working separate lines. In Spanish, we have Marina, Florencia Fasalari, and Rafaela Lejos Castillo. In Bengali, I have Kadazatun Nessa Mukti and Asma ul Husna. And in Arabic, Tagreed Mohammed Yaya Darwis and Hadira Alamiri for our attendees who may wish to dial into these lines at this time. Spanish interpretation.
Español. Good evening, everyone. Buenas tardes a todos. Para entrar a la línea en español, por favor, marquen el 347-966-4114. Una vez más, el número telefónico es 347-966-4114. E ingresen el número PIN 753-466-17 numeral. E ingresen el número PIN 753-4617 numeral. Una vez más que hayan entrado a la línea de español, por favor, recuerden silenciar su teléfono para no interferir con la interpretación. Muchísimas gracias. And thank you. And Mr. Rio, my partner is waiting to be admitted to the Spanish line, the phone line, before you begin. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bengali, may you interpret?
Good evening. The following announcement will be in Bangla for Bengali audience here in this Zoom meeting. শুভ সন্ধ্যা, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আমি বাংলা দুভাষী বলছি। এই মিটিংটি বাংলায় শোনার জন্য কল করুন অনুগ্রহ করে 347-966-411-4 নম্বরে এবং এরপরে পিন চাপুন 890-219-169 এবং একটি পাউন্ড কি। আমি আবারও বলে দিচ্ছি, এই মিটিংটি বাংলায় শোনার জন্য অনুগ্রহ করে কল করুন 347-966-4114 এবং এরপরে পিন চাপুন 890-219-169 এবং একটি পাউন্ড কি। আপনি যদি এই জুম কনফারেন্স রুমে থেকে বাংলায় আলাপচারিতা শুনতে চান, তবে আপনার কম্পিউটারের এবং ফোনের মিউট বাটন চাপ দিয়ে ভলিউম মিউট করে রাখুন এবং আপনার ফোন থেকে সরাসরি বাংলা কনফারেন্স লাইনে ডায়াল করুন। কথোপকথনটি বাংলায় শুনতে হলে যে নাম্বারটিতে আপনি ডায়াল করবেন সে নাম্বারটি আমি আবারও বলে দিচ্ছি, সেটি হচ্ছে 347-966-4114 এবং এরপরে পিন চাপুন 890-219-169 এবং একটি পাউন্ড কি। সবাইকে অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ। The Bangla interpretation is done.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, Arabic, please.
Good afternoon. I will start the Arabic announcement. مساء الخير جميعا. توجد خدمة ترجمة للغة العربية. للاستفادة من خدمة الترجمة النهاردة برجاء الاتصال على رقم 347-966-4114. رقم الاتصال مرة أخرى 347-966-4114. وللدخول على حجرة اللغة العربية برجاء الاتصال على رمز اللغة العربية وهو 557-855-187 والضغط على رمز الشباك. مرة تانية الرمز العربي 557-855-187 والضغط على رمز الشباك. ورجاء وضع أنفسكم على الصامت للاستفادة من الترجمة. شكرا جزيلا. The Arabic announcement is complete.
Thank you. Because we will have simultaneous interpretations all throughout this meeting, it is very important that everyone speaks slower than usual to allow the interpreters to keep up. If you are conducting a presentation, please make certain that you pause and you allow our interpreters enough time to interpret your presentation. Please do not talk over anyone. Madam President.
Thank you, Miss Rio. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay, so it is now, let me see. It is now 6:16 on Wednesday, June 15th, and I'm now calling this meeting to order. Will somebody please do the pledge?
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Aurora. And well, I think Gina is online. So Gina, will you please do the roll call?
Crystal Brockington,
Present.
Latoya Coleman,
Present.
Sandra De Jesus,
Present.
Sarah Despain,
Present.
Lourdes Chabot,
Present.
Sabrina Rocchio,
Present.
Aurora Ronda,
Here,
I am present, and Jada Staten and Jada Lee Small, excuse me. Jada Lee is absent. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
all are in
We have 8 members.
attendance.
We have 8 members present. I was getting there. Thank you. 8 members present and 1 absent. Well, Jada Lee is absent. And we can begin the meeting. We have quorum.
Thank you so much, Gina. And now we'll do the introduction of the members for those of you who do not know us. Okay, obviously that's me, Farah Despain. Lourdes Chabot, CC8 First Vice President and Borough President Appointee, Chair of the Youth Committee, Co-Chair of the Special Education Committee. Latoya Coleman, CC8 Second Vice President and IEP Rep, Chair of the Anti-Bullying Domestic Violence Committee and Co-Chair of the Parent and Community Empowerment Committee. Sandra De Jesus, our CC8 Treasurer. Jana Staten as CEC 8 Recording Secretary and Chair of the Mental Health Committee. Crystal Buckington, wonderful CEC 8 Council Member. Sabrina Rocchio, CEC 8 Council Member and the Chair of the Special Education Committee. Rwanda, CEC 8 Borough President Appointee, Chair of Social Media Committee, Co-Chair of the Parent and Community Empowerment Committee, and Co-Chair of Anti-Bullying and Domestic Violence Committee. And I believe that is all. And now, take it to approval of the minutes. Would we like to take a minute to look them over and then vote to adopt them?
I vote to adopt them. I already read them.
Motion is to approve minutes from May 18th meeting, 2022. Sandra,
Wait, did we have
Motion did,
somebody
I second.
second the motion?
I'm seconding it.
Ah, okay, I'm sorry.
I was doing it in the proper way it should be done.
Yes, I know. So you're saying that Sandra made the motion and you're seconding, okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so to vote on the motion to approve the minutes for the May 18th meeting, Crystal Brockington, Crystal, your vote,
Yes.
Latoya Coleman,
Yes.
Sandra De Jesus,
Yes.
Farah Spain,
Yes,
Lourdes Chabot,
Approved.
Sabrina Rocchio,
Yes.
Aurora Raza,
Yes.
Gina State, and I vote yes as well. So we have 8 votes for yes, the minutes are approved.
Alexa, stop.
okay, so I guess now it is time for my report. And we had a health fair. I guess somebody will report on that in all disclosure, in full disclosure, I should say. I was not able to attend, but I know it went very well. And I want to say thank you to all the people who worked on the health fair. Then we had our legislative breakfast, which went fairly well. And I have to once again commend Superintendent Joint for a wonderful speech. She showed that she can be a very good, a great public speaker. And also at the legislative breakfast, I offered or tried to offer a new vision of how parents and schools can collaborate together. I think today, without naming schools or people involved, we had a good discussion and a good example of how that can happen, even when at times the discussion between parents and other parents and principals and superintendents can be rough, because we do come from different places, different points in our lives, and we do have different perspectives. But I think we have proven that given a chance, we can actually discuss things logically and try to come up with solutions. So I think I am very, I wouldn't say impressed, but proud in some ways of the fact that we are moving in that direction. Because I do think that as parents, we need to, the door needs to be opened for us to be able to present our concerns to the DOE, to DOE folks. And those concerns need to be taken seriously and need to be addressed. And with that, I don't know how many parents are on this call, but I do want to, but it will be live streamed. So, well, it will be streamed because I think today we're having a little technical difficulty. But I think I want to ask parents to, you know, to validate one another and to support one another, even when you differ in opinions, right? Because at the end of the day, the power is in our unity. The power is in community, and we can change things in our communities and in school communities if we learn to listen to each other and we learn to understand each other, because we can understand without agreeing, and agree to support each other. And today there was a good example of that, and I'm very happy to have seen that. Uh, Even though it took a while to get there, but it was, you know, life is a process. Everything takes time, and that was a good example of that. So with the idea of building community and having us come together, all the stakeholders come together, and with empathy and understanding and an open mind and all those things that it takes in order to build community. I want to thank all the principals who approached me during the legislative breakfast for their ideas on how we can actually help to do that. And one principal, who shall remain nameless for now, actually gave us a pretty brilliant idea that I think we should explore, which was to have a principal advisory council on the CEC, because it's very interesting that, you know, we always want to get into the schools, which we should, by the way, as liaisons, as PA members, and you know, just trying to speak to principals and parent coordinators. But I think it was very enlightening for me to hear that principals say, well, why don't you bring principals to advise the CEC as well? And then I said to myself, well, if we can, that's an idea to think about. And if we can do that, then why not also the parent coordinators? And then why not also have a parent advisory group? So these are the kind of discussions that I will bring up to the CEC for us to have, for us to explore. But I personally think it is a great idea to have a principals advisory group, because that way we can have principals speaking directly to us. And that will be another way of trying to bring the school community together, because it will take all the stakeholders, like the students, the principals, the parent coordinators, you know, everyone who works in a DOE school, and obviously the superintendent and so on. So I thought that was a great idea. So I want to say thank you again to that principal, and that principal did offer to help us develop it, should we agree to do it as a CEC. Also, we have an opportunity which we're discussing right now with Muse 12, just the possibility of parents collaborating to bring, to highlight the issue of safety in our schools and in our community. And, you know, when we talk about safety, sometimes we only think about, you know, just kids hurting each other. Oh, I'm sorry, kids bringing guns into the school building, or kids having fights and so on and so forth. But I think besides the gun safety issue, we also need to talk about bullying as part of that safety plan. So I think it's a great opportunity for us, assuming that we take Muse 12 on that offer, to sort of shine the light on what's happening in our schools in terms of security, in terms of safety, and really how to bring community together to be able to solve this problem, because we recognize, and they recognize, and the DOE recognizes that this is not a problem that they can solve by themselves. You need to bring in community, you need to bring in CBOs, you know, community-based organizations, safety folks, the NYPD, mental health experts, just everyone. It's like an all hands on deck approach. So with that, because this is our last meeting until July, when we will start a new cycle, so we hope to be able to explore all of these things. And that is, I think, well, I should say this because I'm sure probably Gina is going to talk about it a little bit more, but I'm happy that Gina proposed this idea of a committee to help parents know their rights and their responsibilities. And as I explained to her, this is something that I think we need to, that we should have been doing a long time ago. So I'm looking forward to her developing that and me supporting it and all of us supporting it in however way we can, because we do need to educate our parents on their duties, their responsibilities, but also their rights, so that they are more effective at advocating for themselves and for their children. Because one of the things that I see throughout the city, throughout the DOE, and I saw it even when I was a teacher, sometimes parents, they get manipulated and they don't know what their, what their, I guess their interest should be, right? Because they don't know what the policies are. They don't know how the system works. And I think it's very important for us as parent advocates to begin to do that work. And I want to say thank you to Gina for bringing up that idea. It is something that we've been thinking about for a long time, but the fact that she's willing to spearhead something like that is actually very wonderful. So that is the end of my report. Thank you. And I guess we'll go to members' reports. Okay, if I can see my screen. Right, members' reports next, right? Okay. Oh, great. I tell you, Ellen, that is the best thing you've ever done for me in terms of putting that slide up. So Crystal, would you like to give a report?
At this time, one of my principals has expressed to me some concerns regarding the fiscal budget for next year, and that they are not going to have enough time to prepare a fully detailed budget. So I want to put that on our agenda to make sure that in the upcoming follow-up vote that needs to be taken, that we are prepared to review the budget and make sure that it goes through this time, because it was stopped last time. And one of my other schools has reported back to me after breakfast that some of the repairs that they're waiting for were completed. And the building itself for Fremont Hall, the HVAC system is still not repaired. And so they want me to raise that issue of concern as well. And as far as our events, I did attend both events. And I believe that our AA needs to get a kudos for putting together the events and making sure that they were done efficiently and effectively. So thank you, Arendita, for all your efforts. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. And I guess next on that list is Latoya Coleman. Latoya, would you like to give us a report, please?
Hi, I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming tonight, this evening, and really appreciate all that came out for the legislative breakfast. I want to announce that we will be having an end of the year event, a multicultural event that will take place on Saturday, June 25th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. when you can come and bring your cultural pride, wear something from your country. Also went to a beautiful Bully Town Hall, which was today at PS 333, which I think and truly should be looked at and brought to all 36 schools, because bullying doesn't only happen there, it happens everywhere. So hopefully we can put this in place for all schools. and see how we can collaborate and partner with our communities, with the staff, with the teachers, the parents, moving forward. That's all I have right now.
Thank you so much, Latoya. Could you put up the list again, please? Okay, Sandra, would you like to give your report, please?
Yes, but my report goes way back now.
That's okay, tell it to us.
We're gonna talk about May 11th when we all went out to Yankee Stadium. All District 8 schools enjoyed the day out at Yankee Stadium for a game in which I happened to take your two sons, Mr. Spain, who enjoyed themselves very much at the game. So I also did a walkthrough at PS 75 for the Gifted and Talented program with Jennifer Joyne, our superintendent. And then from there, we went to, help me out, Jen, with the para at PS 333. We went to the para, what was it?
Hydroponic lab.
Hydroponic. Thank you. We went to 333 for the hydroponic planting with where the councilman attended. We also had a great health fair where we had most of our schools attend. A lot of people came out and showed some love. Also, PS 75 had a health fair at their school that I attended, and it was awesome as well. Then we're going to talk about our thing on the gun violence with Kiara Tay, that we attended the press conference along with all the elected officials and spoke. But unfortunately, Jennifer and Principal Vasquez were not allowed to speak. So I had to speak for them because they didn't have the authority, the clearance to have that conversation. So I spoke out. And then Mr. DeCrescento, Principal DeCrescento from 48 came up with the idea to do a march, a little parade on her behalf, in which I shared with Jennifer, and Jennifer, we brought it up and brainstormed it to become a District 8 Peace March. So we had one on the 8th for the Throgs Neck section. I didn't get to go to. The one in Soundview was awesome. We had a good turnout and a lot of schools came out. Now, the one we had yesterday was even better. We had the family come out. We had even the deputy mayor came out. We had all elected officials there from everywhere. They showed a lot of love. The parents stood there with us because we ended it off with a barbecue and a game truck for the kids. And the parents felt really nice that we ended it off with a barbecue in her name instead of just saying a prayer and sending the kids back to school. So I won't be able to attend the multicultural event because I work the elections. So on that note, everybody have a good night. That's my report. Okay.
Thank you so much, Sandra. And my sons tell me that you are a very good chaperone, and I need to learn from you in terms of making kids happy. So
I got you always.
I know you've already taught me a few tricks. So the lady with the experience, yes. And now I'm all sidetracked, right? So the next person to give a report, Lourdes, would you like to give your report, please?
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you everyone for being here this evening. I just want to reiterate on today's special event on bullying at 333. It was a beautiful event where everyone had the opportunity to speak. Everyone had the opportunity to come to somewhat of healing, start a healing process. So, someone in the chat posted, let's heal one school at a time in District 8. It is important that we understand that even when we don't see the need of mental health or the need for someone that is being bullied or whatever, we still need to be on the lookout for little signs, you know. I did speak about a personal situation at this particular event, and I'm not going to talk about it here, but it is important that we even look at those students that are thriving, that we even look at those students that are, you know, doing very well and behaving very well in the schools, you know, because regardless of how we look, you know, there might be some underlying something going on in our lives that we probably don't feel very comfortable speaking about it. So, you know, whether it's direct or indirect, let's give some support to our students. Let's give some support to our families. Let's heal. We're coming from a pandemic that have, you know, somewhat separated us in somewhat way, had made us come into just a little circle and stay there. We're coming out of a pandemic that, or somewhat coming out, if if I may, you know, say, we need to really come back and think about each other as brothers and sisters, rather than being in each other's throat, and having issues in our communities. We have seen offhand what have happened in Texas, and I don't even want to know what that feels like. I feel very, very, very sad about those parents who no longer have their babies in their lives, right? We don't want to see that here. We don't want to see that anywhere. So let's work together, unified, regardless of whether you're a parent or whether you are a staff member, who you are. I don't mind. I mean, let's come together as one, because at the end of the day, one way or the other, we are all parents, okay? And we are all humans. So we got to think about our little babies and even our grown babies too, right? And we need to just unite and heal. That's all I have to say. Thank you so very much. Thank you everyone for being here. Love and blessings to all.
Thank you so much, Lourdes, for those wonderful words, inspirational words, actually, which actually you know, it's twice today, Lourdes, that you have given such great speeches, because I can tell you that this morning I was inspired, I was humbled. It was really a beautiful moment, and I do think that you gave a very powerful speech, and I think it did a lot to help us heal. And again, let's continue on that healing path. You know, that's what I'm all about. So bringing people together, healing together, and celebrating the human family. So I think the next person to give a report would be Sabrina. Would you like to give your report now, please?
How do I follow that? How do
Girl, I
get
don't
these-
know.
Good night, everyone. No, I'm going to echo the sentiments of Ms. Jabot and Ms. Coleman in the idea of the bullying and the town hall and just making it district wide, and also I'm so incredibly proud of the CEC for putting together these amazing events. Also Ms. Arendita Cirillo for doing all that she does every day. So that's my report. Thank you, Ms. Jabot, for laying out the carpet for me right there. Thanks.
Thank you. She's on fire today, but so are you, Serena. So don't worry. So, and the next person to give a report would be Aurora. Go ahead, Aurora. The floor is yours.
That girl is on fire. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. I want to start off by saying we did the health fair at Barretto Point Park. It was a wonderful event. Thank you to all who came out. Special shout outs to the AA, who did an amazing job on it, and Desiree Vega from BAM and Iris Elisa from BISWA for helping out. And I want to thank everyone who came out to our legislative breakfast. And thanks again to our fabulous AA and Vanessa who helped with cleanup. I
You're
went to all
forgetting
three peace
Sylvia.
rallies.
You're
Huh?
forgetting Sylvia.
Oh, yes, Sylvia, but Vanessa helped clean up at the end. I
My
did all
pleasure.
3 peace rallies. Amazing turnouts at all 3 locations. Thank you, Superintendent Joint, for including the CEC. They were amazing. I enjoyed it as co-chair of PACE. It was great to attend such a wonderful event that meant so much to everyone. And Sandra for collaborating with Superintendent Joint to get this together for the whole district. I'm working on Family Day. It's our last event of the year. It's going to be a multicultural event. That's going to be on June 25th. We have a table coming in it's going to be at PS 14, and we have a table being set up for a book giveaway to set up the summer reading program. I have an organization coming in with free books from pre-K all the way up to 8th grade for their summer reading. There will be hundreds of thousands of books available. And that's my report.
Thank you so much, Aurora. And last but not least, Gina, would you like to give us your report?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I have not attended any of the recent events that have taken place, but I do want to commend all you ladies on the wonderful job that you've done putting them together and making them so successful. And as Farah mentioned earlier, I discussed with her and a few members spearheading a committee within the CEC regarding parents' rights and responsibilities to help inform parents on just what that is, their rights and responsibilities in navigating different issues within the DOE. And just to give parents like one more support to be able to advocate for themselves and how to prepare themselves in the event that, you know, they need to speak up for themselves or advocate, or should a problem arise, so that they're not blindsided, they're not, you know, intimidated. I think it's really important to, you know, empower our parents, and that's what we're here for, to support and empower our parents, and to and also to increase parent involvement and engagement with, you know, the schools, the CEC, and everything. So I'm looking forward to working on that in the coming months. Now that I'm kind of back in full force, coming back in from my own personal stuff that I've been dealing with, I'm just really looking forward to it. And we're starting on our 2nd year in the term, and I just want to see things go up from here, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Gina. I think I don't know, and Angel Gord, would you like to speak? Because otherwise the superintendent has the floor. If you want to say a few quick words.
I'll be
yes.
real brief. I just want to, you know, congratulate CC8 on your great success. I heard I wasn't able to make the breakfast, but I heard great things from my deputy Nelson Palacio, who attended. Aurora, thank you for always, you know, keeping us, you know, allowing us and inviting us to these amazing events. And yeah, just keep up the amazing work, guys. I know we're at the end of the school year, and I just wanted to congratulate you all on your well-deserved, and you know, keep up the, you know, without you guys, you know, and like everyone was saying, you know, we do need to get more parents involved and all in that sort. So, you know, I got it. As you know, the BP's office has everyone's backs on District 8, and, you know, we're here to work, side. So just congratulate you guys all on your great success for another school year. Well done.
Thank you, Angel.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Angel. And thank you to the borough president, President Gibson, for all the support that she gives to parents, to people all over the Bronx, and especially to CC8. And now I believe the floor belongs to the superintendent. No, that's not true, superintendent. You see, I'm trying not to forget you from last time.
Not yet. We still
And I'm
have
jumping the
announcements to
gun.
do.
Okay, so we'll have our announcements and then I think we'll have the superintendent. Go ahead. Who will be reading them? Somebody please read the announcements for us.
I'll go ahead and do it, no problem.
Thank you.
So if you'd like to be part of our distribution list, you can go ahead and scan that QR code from your phone. It will take you directly to the form. If not, you can copy down that URL and it will also take you down to that form. Also, if you're interested in joining into one of our committees, our social media use, EBDV, also known as Anti-Bullying Domestic Violence, Special Education, PACE, Parent and Community Empowerment, as well as Mental Health, and now to be determined, the very new one in the upcoming term, hosted by Gina. More information, email us at cec8@schools.nyc.gov. And this one is part of the New York City Coalition for Educating Families Together. If you would like to be a member, go ahead and email at info@ceftnyc.org. We do have vacancy available in our committee. So if you would like to be part of a membership, please inquire so we may send you an application. We do have an availability for our English language learner. If you are an advocate, please, we highly encourage. And save the date, our very last event of the school year, our Multicultural Family Day. It will be taking place at PS 14 at Senator John Calandra School, Saturday, June 25th at 9 a.m. And now I believe is the report from the superintendent.
All right, the superintendent joint, the floor is yours. I can't read it, but she made it yellow for me, so I can see better.
Thank you so much. I will share my screen, but before I do, I want to say thank you to everyone who's here. Thanks to the CC for having us, our principals, APs, parent coordinators, and parents that are with us tonight. Thank you. And thank you to the CC for the legislative breakfast. Now I think it's a week and a half ago, but we appreciate breaking bread and convening as part of that. So thank you so much. Let me share here. And Indita, can you see my screen? Okay, I got my thumbs up. Let me just do this. So around the district, I'm gonna skip my slide and go right to pictures and then I'll come back. It was mentioned we had 3 peace marches that were well attended, and here's some photos as I set the stage. We had just about every school in District 8 participate in this event. You know, with the parent coordinators that are on the call tonight, thank you so much for all the time and effort they put in. Our parent coordinators made ribbons for everyone to have to commemorate the event. They also made posters that we carried throughout the event, and you could see orange to represent end gun violence. A number of elected officials were part of this, as were the precincts and the community boards, particularly Community Board 9 and 2. So these are pictures from our first event in Throgs Neck. Parent coordinator Lily Urban was our team leader for this event. Our Soundview March, every march was grand marshaled by the parents and family of Kiara Tay. And you can see Dad in one of the pictures here. Even Grandma in a wheelchair was at every event with us. And we had union representation at every event as well. And here is our final event. And we chose to end in Hunts Point because that's where Kiara lived. We walked by her home and again, had the family with us. Thank you, Sandra, for putting this idea out there that I then rolled with, but you could see the participation was great. We were able to end at the Hunts Point Rec Center. And that was spearheaded by the 41st Precinct with that barbecue that Sandra mentioned in the gaming truck. And so this event, I can't say enough, and this is is something that hopefully can be an annual event, because it's something that the kids continue to speak about. And it really gave our folks in District 8 a way to voice their emotions in an appropriate way. So hopefully more of you will be part of it with us next year. If I go back a little, so District 8 Town Hall, we will be hosting a town hall on Tuesday, June 21st from 6 to 7. This is getting ready for 3K, pre-K, and kindergarten. It's hosted by District 8, but the lead is by Dr. Roz on our team, who solely focuses on these areas. So if anyone on the call, or for any school folks, if you know anyone who's entering 3K, pre-K, or kindergarten, hopefully they could attend this event. The flyers have gone out. Reach out to myself and Esther Sylvia for more information if you need. Also, 3K, pre-K, kindergarten, middle school, and high school acceptances came out last week. If you didn't get them, which I hope you did, you could go on your My Schools account, and it is, you need to accept your decision or look at what you're going to appeal, if there's something you want to appeal in terms of your decision. But we had a lot of excited people in District 8 with where they're going to go next year. I'm going to stop sharing, but I will say, because a couple of things came up that I just want to address, although it wasn't in my report. Yep, budgets, Crystal mentioned. Sometimes they're looking grim. Budgets came out late. They came out after June 1st, which is much later than usual. Budget meetings are happening now, and we're seeing a loss, and a lot of that is due to register loss. Schools are seeing register loss, not all of them, but many. And so that's something that is on the table. Principals have to make tough decisions about what they want to do for next year. I talked to several principals today about that. And so hard decisions are going to have to be made because we're not seeing that influx of stimulus money that we did during the pandemic. So that's something. Aurora mentioned in the chat, and I want to just mention it. Graduation season is upon us, and I have encouraged all schools to have graduations outdoors, but it's not always possible because of construction and such. But there are unvaccinated parents that, are feeling a sort of way because they can't come if the graduation is indoors. And I understand that completely. One is, if it is indoors, all schools have to find a way to live stream it so that you can watch it virtually. And so there should be a link to watch if you cannot enter the building. But Aurora's question was really about, if it's outside, why can't parents attend? They can attend. If it is outside and there's no reason to enter the school building, you can attend any event that is outside on the schoolyard. I know my office, many of you know, is at PS 182. Principal O'Grady, I don't know if she's with us tonight. She did a great job, class by class, having different graduation or moving up ceremonies with their pre-K, tomorrow's kindergarten, and everything was outside. There was no reason to come in the building. Parents entered from outside, they left, they took pictures, beautiful balloons. And I talked to 2 other schools today to think about strategic ways to transition an indoor to an outdoor. And so if there's any concerns about that, reach out to Vanessa or Sylvia in particular. But if it's outdoor, anyone can attend. And so I hope that I cleared that up. And Aurora, if that came from someone specifically, please clear it up because that shouldn't be happening. No one should be turned away. That is my report. Again, I want to thank everyone for being here. It's awesome to see everyone. I echo what a great bullying town hall this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Farah. And I know Ms. Thompson's on this call. Thank you for making it happen. Lourdes, Latoya, thank you for being a part of it. And let's definitely continue that conversation across the district. I hear it loud and clear, and I would love to be a part of more of those events. Everyone have a great night, and I turn it back to our president.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. And I don't know what's next. Then thank you so much. Oh, we don't have any prison. Okay. All right. So we are at the public session. So I guess it'll be nice and sweet, short and sweet tonight. Yeah, go ahead, Arlington, do your thing. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So we will take questions and comments from participants who join via computer on the Zoom room. Please press the hand icon on the bottom of your screen to be recognized at the time, or type your name and the word speak in the chat box. When your name is called, please repeat your first and last name before beginning your comment or question. I'm going to go ahead and read through all of the expectations so then we can go ahead and zoom right through it. Then after that, we will take questions and comments from participants in the interpretation rooms. We will allow for a pause so that our colleagues from, well, me, may collect the names of Spanish, Bengali, and Arabic speaking participants who wish to speak. There will be a long pause. We appreciate your patience. This will allow our interpreters time to organize the questions. And then if you had called using your phone only, we will call out the last 4 digits on your phone number and we'll manually unmute your line to allow you say yes or no. If you would like to ask a question, if you do wish to speak, please state your first and last name slowly before beginning your comment. So we'll go ahead and check in on the Zoom.
You do have one panelist who has raised their hand, and so far in the attendees room, no one has raised a hand yet. Gina
ahead,
has raised her
Gina.
hand.
Yes, so I just wanted to follow up on what Aurora and Superintendent Joint were speaking of with the graduations. And I noticed that Superintendent Joint posted in the chat the like directly from the DOE policy, what it says about outdoor graduations. What I wanted to suggest or ask is that the principals across the district be instructed to, or, you know, whoever, parent coordinator, whatever it may be, make it very clear to the parents, because what I'm seeing is that it looks like they're doing exactly that. They're posting the DOE protocol, like copying and pasting a DOE protocol in an email or on a poster or whatever. And it could be misunderstood by some parents, where they may think that, you know, they're not allowed to attend because it's on DOE property, like the way it's worded. And I understand it is pretty clear, but just to avoid confusion for parents, to kind of just send out a plain English, like, you know, notice to everyone that, like, your parents are allowed to attend as long as there's no access to the building. Can that be done, like, just to make sure that, you know, no one misses out on their kid's graduation or anything?
Yep, 100%. That definitely can happen. I will warn, some schools are doing graduations inside though, due to construction and such. And so in that case, the vaccine policy has to hold, but for everyone outside, absolutely, I'll make sure that it's clearly stated.
Thank you.
And indeed, we do have one hand raised in the attendee room for Ms. Thompson. I can unmute her or allow her to talk. Ms. Thompson, you have permission to talk.
Good evening, everyone. I would be remiss if I didn't raise my hand to speak today, because it was such an impactful, influential, and day of healing, as others have said. I do want to thank Superintendent Joint for making time out of, taking time out of her schedule. And this was literally thrown together in a few days. And we were able to corral and to support our babies ultimately today, and being their voice, because that's what we are. And so I want to thank Superintendent Joint, Principal Naheda, President's Council, Ms. Lourdes, and CEC, Ms. Farah and Latoya, for all convening in our yard as we kind of re-embraced our humanity today. Literally, some of our parents, hugged each other at the end. And that was important today, to just be human again. And so I do believe that some of this healing will come through more of this discussion. And I just want to just really encourage, because I can't see who all is on, but I know this is CEC, right? And so this is kind of everybody in our district. And I really just want to encourage principals and parent coordinators and those who are DOE personnel to really add to their POV that we're just people, right? Coming back into a situation where, we've been away from each other for a while. And that does impact our viewpoints from a lot of perspectives. And, we really want to heal forward. So it sounds good to me that we may be duplicating this or replicating today across the district so that we can all heal together and be strong for our babies. So thank you again so much. But I would have been remiss if I did not acknowledge the effort that was put forth to make today happen. It wasn't easy, right? It wasn't easy, but you have to face it to fix it. So thank you all for doing that today.
Thank you so much for that, Letitia. Anybody else?
I do not see any additional hands raised. One was put up, but they lowered it again. I'm going to check the chat. I do not see any questions in the chat or the question or answer box. Erendita, do you want to go to the in translation lines?
Sure thing. Interpreters, do we happen to have, starting with Spanish?
Hola, buenas noches. ¿Hay alguien que tenga alguna pregunta en este momento? Una vez más, ¿hay alguien que tenga alguna pregunta en este momento? Okay, I don't hear any questions at this moment.
Thank you so much. Bangla, may we have a question?
There is no question.
And last but not least, Arabic.
No questions so far for the Arabic.
Thank you. Just to double check, Vanessa, are there any phone lines?
There are no phone lines in the attendees room. And again, there are no hands raised or any additional questions or comments in the chat or the question or answer box.
Motion to adjourn?
I second.
Aaron's laughing.
Okay, so the vote to adjourn the calendar meeting for June 15th, Crystal Brockington. Latoya Coleman,
Yes.
Sandra De Jesus,
Yes.
Farah Despain,
Yes.
Lourdes Chabot,
Yes.
Sabrina Rocchio,
Yes.
Aurora Ronzo,
Yes.
Gina Staten, I vote yes as well. So we have a unanimous vote to adjourn.
Our calendar meeting on Wednesday, June 15, 2022.
Madam President, would you like to go straight to the working business?
Yes, I think so. I can't do anything if you don't put the screen up. Thank you. I feel so bad. I should memorize that. I should memorize the PowerPoint, right, Angela? So it is now 7:08 and I'm calling to order our working business meeting on Wednesday, June 15th, 2022 at 7:08 p.m. Thank you. Roll call, please, Gina.
Okay, roll call for the working business meeting, June 15th, 2022. Crystal Brockington,
I'm here.
Latoya Coleman,
I'm present.
Sandra De Jesus,
Present.
Sarah Despain,
Present.
Lourdes Chabot,
Present.
Sabrina Rocchio,
Present.
Aurora Ronda, Aurora,
I'm sorry, I was muted. Present.
and Gina Staten. I am present. However, ladies, I do have to log off for the business meeting. And I'm gonna just ask Aurora if she could, if there's any more need for secretarial duties, if she could just take over from here.
Not a problem.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
We got
Good
you,
night.
Gina. We got you, Gina.
Good night,
Like always.
Gina.
All right, good night, ladies.
Have a good one.
Okay, call to order discussion item. So Family Day, I guess, I think Latoya probably can speak better on Family Day than I can, right? Because you're the co-chair, you're the chair, right? Yes, no,
Well-
am I mistaken?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Basically, we're now going to get sponsorship, Farrell, correct me if I'm wrong, from AOC. To try to have some fun and excitement for the parents and the staff. I would love to bring a book about the Bronx, which I will be reading to the families and everyone that attends. And just hopefully to see everyone there. And if anyone know of anything they would like to see there, you can place in the chat that maybe we can add on the agenda of activities.
I'd like to ask what happened to the 5 students. They were supposed to give a presentation about their family.
Well, Crystal, to that, we can still reach out to principals and parent coordinators if they're still on the call and maybe would like to have, we would like to have 5 different students who would like to speak of their background at the event.
Thank you for that. And I think beyond, I agree with you, Latoya, right? We should reach out to the principals, but I think given the time thing, maybe we should go straight to Superintendent Joint and ask her to put that extra, do that extra ask on our behalf, so that when we send out that letter, that it's, prioritized and given serious attention to, and perhaps, Superintendent Joint and her team can help with that.
Yep, absolutely. Whatever you need, yell. Latoya, Aurora, I know you're co-chairing, so just reach out and I could definitely get you whatever you need.
Thank you. I would follow up with you tomorrow. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
No problem.
Anything else we want to say on the multicultural event?
I already did the announcement, you're in my report.
Yeah, but I was gonna come and dance to the drums. You people said no. That's a joke.
Are we getting the drums? Are we getting the drums?
No,
Because we've been
no,
trying.
we used to, right? We used to get those drummers to come to our events. Probably next year, right? I think it's too late to reach out because they usually have, you know, like crazy schedules because they actually do play at very sophisticated places for high profile folks. Thank you, son. My son had, because he knows the drummers, and he's like, you know, so he had to say that, but yeah. So we're not gonna be able to get them on this short notice.
Latoya, stop eating on screen. Sorry.
Yeah, so anything, I can't see, like, help me, what's next on the agenda? Because I think we probably said everything we needed to say about the multicultural stuff.
Recent events, recently events that already happened.
Yeah,
Like
so
breakfast, peace march across the DA.
And I do like the idea of making it, well, number one, if the CC, you know, were to become a part of the peace marches, for example, have that community, solid community piece to it, added to it, because I read somewhere in the chat that there were some folks, some businesses that would have liked to sponsor, right? So I do think if it becomes an annual thing that we can absolutely make it broader and get the community really involved, and then even build on it, right? Because I would love to see our kids at City Council, for example, in Albany, right? Speaking to legislators, not only when the legislators are here, but speaking to the state legislature, like on the floor of the assembly, on the floor of the Senate. And if we could even find a way to sponsor trips to Washington, DC, why not on the floor of Congress? Because I remember, and I still have my award, it was the, it was the Youth Leaders Conference. I still remember 1992. And not only did we go, and we participated in a lot of things. We had the mock Congress, but we spoke on the floor of Congress. That was exciting. And I know that especially our US reps, and that would be Torres, AOC, and Bowman, they have the ability to make that happen. So I think if we were to expand on this, we could really build a curriculum around it, and we could really get kids to participate, not just on the advocacy side and the grassroots stuff, but also the real political stuff, right? I remember meeting, you know, some senators and Congress folks who encouraged me to go into politics back then. And I was like, you know, politicians are too corrupt. And I didn't, but you know, today, I kind of think if I knew that so much of education, because, you know, my whole childhood, I always wanted to be a teacher, but if I knew how much education depends on politics, as much as we don't want it to depend on politics, if I knew how much of what happens in our neighborhoods, especially underserved communities, why we are left behind, if I knew that, I think I would have taken some of the senators and Congress reps on their offer to give scholarships and help me get into politics. So it didn't happen for me because I chose a different route because I didn't understand. But I think for a lot of the young people who are marching, if we want to think about this on a larger scale, there are so many opportunities that we can get them if we broaden this. So I am so excited by the possibility of making this a yearly thing, but also expanding on it so that it's not just a march, but kids are, you know, advocating at the higher levels where it matters the most so that they can really speak to policymakers on their turf. And I think that is super important. And I would love to see that piece added. So if the CEC is so willing and the district office is so willing, let's do it.
Crystal, go ahead. You have your hand up.
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure that we were done with that topic first before I jump into something else. So at our legislative breakfast, it was brought up that some of the parent coordinators are feeling like we don't really attend the events and engage with them enough. And the young lady that brought it up, I told her that I was going to put it on our agenda. So this is me officially putting it on our agenda and trying to figure out how we're going to address this problem.
I agree, but you know, the only way to do this is to, and that is why I think having a parent coordinator advisory group is a good idea, but you know, that's not really gonna happen unless we are given the go ahead by, you know, the superintendent and by the DOE, because, you know, somehow, you know, folks are always, I think today actually should prove that we can work together and no one should be suspicious, right? Because when we are sincere and we come in the space with the intention of healing, of doing great things, of participating wholeheartedly, that it works. So what I'm gonna say simply to your point, Crystal, DOE folks, DOE personnel, all we want is to make District 8 great and to participate in what our kids, the support that our kids need in order to succeed, because unfortunately, and it is sad, right? Because it goes back to having kids advocate, you know, to policymakers. Unfortunately, that burden is being put on schools because it's not happening in communities, because we are not being invested in. So unfortunately, poor principals, poor superintendents, poor teachers who have to do that whole stuff. But if you open the door and you let parents in as your partners on every level, I promise you, it will go well. And so that's all I can say. It's like, open the doors and let the parents in, and parent coordinators, principals, teachers, all of you come into our space as well, and let's make it work, because it can, and we don't have to be afraid of each other. Yes, there'll be hiccups and there'll be bumps and there'll be people not understanding sometimes, and there'll be, you know, emotions flaring up, but you know, we can work through it, because that's what we do as human beings. We can't avoid conflicts in life because we have them in our families, with our friends, in our marriages, at work. So in community, of course, you know, but that doesn't mean that it shouldn't happen and it can't be a great collaboration. And I don't know if you can see this, because can you guys see this?
No.
I don't think you can. Okay, so I'll read it, what it says though. It says National Young Leaders Conference 1992 Youth Leadership Award presented to myself in recognition of meritorious achievement in scholarship, leadership, and citizenship. Congressional Youth Leadership Council. And I don't keep anything on my wall, but this, I keep it, because it's like, that's what it does when schools and community care about kids, and they say, you know, you can lead and you can do certain things and you can be on the floor of Congress to address issues. I mean, I will never, ever, ever forget that day where I worked with other kids from around the country, because there were only something like 322 of us, I think, that were chosen. It was amazing. I said, let's give that same opportunity to our kids.
So just to follow up, one of the issues that she brought up was that we don't attend the town hall. So my proposal right now is that we incorporate those dates on our CEC D8 calendar so that if the intended liaison or the second liaison can't attend, maybe somebody else can go in their place. So that's what I'm proposing as like an immediate action to start building this partnership.
I agree.
And I would say, if I may speak, I give you full permission, so Sylvia has enforced that all parent coordinators have calendars each month with workable links. So you could click right into the meetings. And so I give full, whatever, permission's not the right word, but I would love for you to attend any and all events that are on those calendars, town halls, whatever it is, curriculum nights, whatever it may be. So please attend. So Crystal, love that plan, and you get my full support. And every school has town halls every month, parent workshops every month. Every parent coordinator has to hold at least 2 workshops. So please join. We would love to have anyone and everyone present.
Thank you for that, Joy. So one of the other things that I have wanted to start was sort of similar to the parent coordinator. Is that? Let me go outside. So this is similar to what we were discussing before, but to have active engagement with parents through like a group chat. We have a group chat where we discuss amongst ourselves, but I'm suggesting that we set one up with the parent coordinators so that there is direct contact and it's instantaneous and it's not, waiting until there's a problem to bring it up to us. So that's my second suggestion.
I love it.
I agree with you, Crystal, 100%. Sounds great.
Sounds good to me.
Because I know, to your point, Crystal, because at some schools, some PAs tried to set up a system like that. Some of the principals did resist, and some of the teachers, well, okay, for the PA, they want the teachers to did resist. But I think once the lady in charge says yes, I think we won't get any resistance from them. And if we don't get everyone and we get most of them, enough of them, slowly they will come. So I think that's a brilliant idea.
So I think since you built ours, you should build up that one too.
What? I should build it too? I will try, because I think we do have a list of, okay, so we do have a list of a few folks where we do have their numbers and stuff like that, but I will ask Arandida's and Vanessa's and Sylvia's help in terms of getting the numbers of the ones that I do not have. So there are those parent coordinators, as well as principals, as well as teachers, that we do have numbers to, but it was never, they were always like, oh no, we can't do this, we can't do that. But if we open the doors and they're willing to, be on chats with us and stuff like that, and Jennifer here just said yes, so I think we'll be able to to do that, and then we can put them not on like separate conversations, but having district-wide conversations. So yeah.
Latoya, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
I just want to say one thing to that. That's a great idea, but let's make sure everyone is on board, because you can't always put someone in the chat and they might not answer and then not get the full information. So before we even send out the information to anyone, ask for permission for them information to be allowed to us for this chat.
No, absolutely. There has to be a whole system built behind it, right? You can't just say, I have your number and I put you in this chat. First of all, it could be considered like an invasion of privacy. And the other thing is that, you know, they may have, because I know some of the people that I chat with, for example, they say things like, Farah, do not text me after 8 p.m., right? Or you can text me anytime you want, except on Sundays. So there are perimeters around what we can do with them and when, because, you know, it is a job for them, right? Although we want everyone to be immersed in our community, there has to be balance because they do have families of their own and lives of their own. And, you know, what we can do amongst ourselves, because we all agree, right? It may not be things that they will agree to. So there will definitely have to be a system behind it and, you know, sort of like agreements, right? And that has to be worked out behind the scenes, yes.
Yeah, I saw what Jennifer just posted that parent coordinators are all supposed to have phones, DOE phones and so on and so forth. But to be respectful of their time, I think there's gotta be a set boundaries, you know, like, okay, from this hours to this hours, this is our hours of communication. This is our hours of being able, sort of like, you know, like office hours, right? Yeah, so there you go, like a 9 to 5 type of thing where we're able to communicate and be able to support however necessary at all times. Thank you. And thank you, ladies, Latoya and Crystal, for the suggestion.
Yeah, agreed. Beautiful suggestions. I'm saying if you see me squinting my eyes, it's because I can't see the screen anymore. Well, I think we've clarified the vaccine mandates and stuff like that. Forgive me, EOY, forgive me if I don't understand the acronym.
End of the year, first term.
Oh, end of year. Oh, I should have known that, silly me.
Silly
you know,
rabbit.
it's funny with acronyms, like you don't use them for a while and then you forget what they mean because there's so many of them. It's like, you know, your head is like swimming in them. So you're looking what for smart thoughts from us? I am not that smart tonight. Well, I would say this will be a record, right? It's like 7:31. If we don't have anything else to discuss, and I know we can continue to discuss a lot of things. Oh, this is one thing I don't want to forget because we'll continue to talk about it, but I think after the multicultural event, we really need to get together, like, I don't know where, at the office or somewhere, because, you know, by law, all CEC members cannot get together without, if it's not at the invitation of someone. So I don't know, maybe we'll get an elected official to invite us, or maybe we'll get the superintendent to invite us, or Vanessa to invite us, because she's looking like she wants to invite us. But the whole point of it is that I think we need us as a whole CEC, all 8 members of us, we just need, and this is not even my suggestion, it's coming from Gina and also Latoya, I believe, where we need to just get together as we talk about healing other folks and other school communities. So we need to do some of that ourselves, amongst ourselves. So maybe we can get ourselves invited to a picnic or to something after the Multicultural Day event. So, because I don't think we've seen each other in person for a while. And then just breathe and heal. So
I could have someone throw me a surprise birthday and invite everyone. No.
It is your birthday coming up. Yes. Well, it's my birthday coming up.
July, yours too.
Yours. Yes. So, but that will be like in July though. But we could do that in July too, why not? But that's something to put out there so we can start thinking in terms of what we want to do as a team so that we can rebuild and, you know, heal ourselves and have fun again, because CC8 used to have a lot of fun together, and let's bring that back.
We need to have a retreat.
Yes, and that's the other thing. We need to bring back the annual retreat. And you know what? Before we used to get people from the state or from the city to come to do it with us, right? But now I think honestly, and there was one year John Cado did it with us. I don't know if John Cado is still at Archimedes because we haven't spoken in a while, but he was really a pretty good
He was
coach.
fabulous.
He was fabulous.
Yes,
right?
he was.
Yes.
He's
So-
still there. He's there.
He's there, yes, all right. So
Jen,
maybe
he's
we'll end-
amazing.
Yes, so maybe that's what we'll do. We'll invite John Cado. We'll ask John Cado to invite us for some team building, healing, fun times, and then we'll have lunch, we'll do whatever, and then we'll also do a few exercises and get to know each other better. And because those are things we used to do before the pandemic, and we need to start doing them again.
We need to get back to the old us.
To the old us, yes. Amen to that. So I think right after we are done with those events, we need to to do that. And so, if we don't have any more ideas, and I have to share with you, I have a stupendous headache. So
motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we're not done.
No, what happened?
No, we're not done. So because of the last recent 3 weeks, everybody commenting, I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to reflect. And this is also coming from a conversation that I had with the FACE liaison, Richard, as to our expectations and what our wish list can become for the second term. So I wanted to give you an opportunity during this time so then we can reflect on our expectation and what we can improve and continue to succeed on from this first term.
But I think that will be, although I understand your intentions, but I think that will be best that we treat with Cado, because right now, I can't stop anybody from speaking if we want to, but I think that reflection has to be put in context, and I don't know, but we can try, but I really think it's because that's usually part of our retreat when we do that. So, but I don't know.
We need to put CC first and focus on our business. That's the end of the story. Like we've all been discussing this over weeks, so we need to get back to the old us. Go CC8.
I agree. And it's probably a conversations that's probably best. It's probably best not to have it here on a public meeting. And that's what the retreat will be about, I think. And
exactly
that invitation for that conversation. If we could get together by ourselves, I would just say, hey, LCC members, come and let's get together, come over, let's do this, let's do that. But if we do that and DOE or FACE were to get a news of that, we would be in trouble because by law we cannot. Because they would think it's corruption. And it's like, what? No, that's why we have to do team building. But I don't think, unless we were to do a working business session just on that, I think in terms of closing the meeting with it, because it might open other cans of worms that then we'll be here until midnight, right? So. But you'll be there too, Arantida, because whenever we do it, whenever we did it, Carolyn used to come with us, and she used to give some motherly advice as well. So you can give some sisterly advice.
Anybody else has anything else to say?
Arundita, I just have one thing to say. Moving forward, how are we gonna be meeting wise as preparing for the next term?
To date, the only thing that I do know as exercised from the state with the executive order 11.7, our annual election is to be virtual because it expires on July 14th.
Yep.
But to further elaborate, going forward, that would be discussed, I believe, during that time.
Thank you.
Are there any more discussions?
All right, well, I think you can give us that motion again.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, thank you, everyone. So this means that our working business meeting has
I need roll
concluded.
call.
Oh. I'm sorry, I have a major headache. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Crystal Brockington? Latoya Coleman?
Oh, yeah.
Sandra's phone died. Farah Despain?
Yes.
Lourdes Jabode?
Yes.
Sabrina Rocchio?
Yes.
I'm a yes, and Gina signed off. So we have Crystal, Latoya, Farah, Lourdes, Sabrina, and myself. We have quorum. Motion to adjourn was done at 7:40. Have a good night, everyone. Talk
Have
to
a good
you
night,
soon.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good
great
night,
night.
everyone. Bye.
Have
Oh
a
my
good
God, I wanted
night.
to say enjoy your weekend, but it's not the weekend yet. But enjoy it when it is the weekend.
Good night, all.
Good night, everyone. 3, 2, 1.